Good morning. My name is Jesse Grice, Director of Lifespan Religious Education, and I have a story to share with you today that's called Wisdom from the Wormhole. It was a clean, clear, crisp spring afternoon in the year 2020 when the wormhole array opened up in the space-time continuum. Without warning, Jesus, Siddhartha Gautama, aka the Buddha, Clara Barton, and Hiawatha dropped onto the streets of Washington, D.C., right in front of a conveniently placed gaggle of gathered media, each microphone and camera exactly 6 feet away from the next. Startled, these great leaders blinked in the bright lights of the cameras, and the cameras blinked and focused in on the light of this unfathomable miracle. In the long silence that ensued, producers wondered whether they should cut to commercial or let the moment play out. It was Siddhartha who first broke the silence. I do not know by what magic I have been transported here, but my friends, this is an opportunity. It is with great honor and great humility that I deliver to you the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutra. Let us begin with the 4 noble truths, the first of which is dukkha, or the acknowledgement of the nature of suffering in the world. Okay, thank you for that great insight, Mr. Buddha, interrupted one reporter. But I'm afraid you have exceeded your 280-character tweet limit. So we're going to have to cut you off there. Now, the public does want to know, who is your fashion designer? That robe is exquisite. The Buddha fell into a stunned silence, which was quickly filled by Jesus. Stepping up to the mount of Capitol Hill, he addressed the media. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Ooh, I know this one, shouted a nearby lieutenant governor. I definitely have seen this meme. It's the one with that guy at the table eating dinner with his friends, and it says, you shall inherit the fish, or something like that. Anyway, I shared it with all of my followers. Jesus stopped and looked him in the eye and said, Sir, what you are about to do quickly. But before he could return to his speech, a reporter said, Nicely done, sir. Unfortunately, we do have to wrap up our broadcast soon, so could you just, text us the rest of it? We'll post it on our blog, I promise. Clara Barton stepped forward and wagged her finger at the reporters. I cannot understand why none of you are letting these great speakers finish their speeches. There is such wisdom in their words. I can only imagine that if you are cutting off Jesus and Buddha, you will barely listen to me, a woman who has only given her entire life to founding the Red Cross and fighting for a woman's right to vote. Why don't you just settle down and let us... But something stopped Ms. Barton. She realized that she couldn't see anyone's eyes. They were all blocked by cameras, recording and Facebook Living her. Many viewers at home had already scrolled past her remarks, but some had paused long enough to give them a like. She stepped back and watched with Jesus and Buddha as Hiawatha took his turn approaching the podium. I remember a time when the leaders of all the great native nations gathered together, putting aside our differences, to come together against a great common threat, he said. We took our time. We talked with each other. We listened. We considered what each person had to say. Even though the time for action was short, we took days to think through things before doing them. It was our way. It is plain to see from what my friends up here have tried to say that you all should probably do the same. A nearby young woman lowered her phone and said, #Hiawatha FTW. IDK why we're all like this. You are the goat. Hiawatha, Jesus, Buddha, and Clara exchanged glances. SMH, TTYL, they said sadly, and without another word, they stepped through the wormholes back into their own times, where things now somehow made a little bit more sense to them. The reporters, for their part, all concluded that it had been a momentous day, and cut to commercial. Then they cut to discussion panels, promising to post links on their websites to the great speeches of each of the surprise visitors that they'd had. Life mostly carried on. Social distancing and tweeting as usual. In a few corners of the world, however, some people took a bit more time to read and consider the wise words of those that came before them. They looked deeper into the things that they enjoyed, making each day more about completing what they did, rather than starting multiple projects. Soon, that radical idea went viral. So it is that I leave you with a challenge. Let's listen to our visitors from the past and intentionally take it slow. Let's finish what we start and think about what we read and see and experience in a deeper way than we might have yesterday. And let's learn from them how to make today a great day. #, live fully this moment.